Hello and welcome back to Tearaway Unfolded. This is Enchanted, and today we're going to be going through the second chapter. That basically means if we return to a chapter with late game abilities, we'll be able to access those abilities from the beginning of the game. There's nothing we actually need for that, as far as I'm aware. It's never necessary for any collectibles, which is good. There's no need to backtrack, but it's just kind of, if you want to get through it faster, with some late movement abilities that make you move faster, you can. Like, if you miss something and want to go back for it, it won't take long to get back through it, basically. But the main key here is to wake up the garden. As you can see, there's a bunch of sleeping flowers, like that one there. And waking them up will activate a platform of some kind. Like this. I quite like this area because it's a very kind of atmospheric area. It's dark, but it's not dreary or scary or spooky. It's just kind of, it's dark because we're deep in a forest with a lot of overgrowth in the canopy. It just happens to be a very nice forest. But it does have a bit of foreboding because we're constantly being stalked by the scraps. They're worried because the earth isn't dancing for them anymore. We'll see what that means. It's actually quite a literal statement. You see, the earth they were discussing was actually a drum skin. And the earth will literally dance as we hold down the touchpad and release it. We're making the earth dance beneath us. And it catapults us to the next area. It's quite a fun little mechanic, and it'll actually be used pretty much throughout the entire game in different ways. Here's where the obstacles start getting a little bit thoughtful. You have to time it here. I don't know if you can make the drum leap all the way over that way, but we want to come over this way for this present. I quite like the squirrels kind of showing us as well how the drums work. That's really cute. And here's a tutorial for the collectible I showed off in the first video, the white shapes. This is kind of showing us how it's done because we're not really meant to have done it yet. So let's just change to a nice background and give him his colour back. Yeah, the tripod just made things weird though. It just adds a weird purple flap. I don't know what it's really for. That was kind of ridiculous. So let's hit up these drums, shall we? Of course, over that way there are actually some hidden confetti. Let's deal with those scraps, shall we? There's a slight recording glitch there. That's annoying, but hopefully it won't happen too often. I quite like the music here though, with the bass line being added along the violins. It's very kind of a nice sound to it. And it helps the escalation of the forest feeling as well. Like as we're progressing through it, it helps the feeling of progression. Yeah, this drum is actually key to it's kind of a very well hidden collectible. If we can just get up there by bouncing and then bouncing again, basically, it's like a double jump. Then we can get up here. I like that puzzle, it's quite clever. I was actually present, I had to look up as well, because I didn't find it myself. Now we'll see a new use of the drum. If they can get the enemies on the drum, we can then stun them by bouncing them, which is quite cute. But now we need to find an apple, and for that we have a small puzzle here. A timing puzzle. You have to bounce the apple so that it lands on that tongue and gets pushed out of the little paper pachinko machine. It's just a puzzle that teaches you timing of the drums and everything like that, because there's some very kind of careful timing at some points in the game. Of course, that's just showing off that those flowers unfold into drum skins, and these ones unfold into these weird pools. And of course, we know what happens if we throw an apple into those pools. So this is the puzzle of this area, is use those plants to spit apples in appropriate ways so we can get them into those little pools. And also activate the pool first, of course, otherwise it won't work at all. Time for a little bit of timing. Bounce it off the drum with the touchpad, and then try not to screw up so we get into the pool. There's actually an easier angle to do it at, I think. As long as that little white halo is there, that means you're aiming at it. That means you'll actually hit it. They're quite a lot of moving drums, that's quite a fun thing. And also, these flowers are quite interesting. So we can throw them into the pitcher plants with the drum, or we can lure them and get eaten by the fly traps. Of course, we can also get eaten by fly traps, which is my own fault. I accidentally used the the scraps to push them into my own face, and push myself onto them with the scraps, which is embarrassing. And I can't get him to eat him again, so screw it. Let's just pitcher plant him. Oh, just... never mind. Let's just do that and throw him. And this is quite a fun little thing as well. We need to curl those leaves so that the apple can follow them. This part's actually a little tricky because it kind of curls up quite quickly. So you have to really be moving as it's uncurled. And here's a secret drum. As long as we keep tapping the button, it unfurls the plant more and more. That one can be kind of hard to work out what to do though if you don't think to do the drum and don't notice it unfurling. I thought it was because you get used to the lights being how to unfurl it, but it's not. It's kind of a misleading drum, that one. Not really a fan of that puzzle because of that, but I think the idea is you'll see it unfurling as you're going through the other drum. But because of the way this game works, you're already using the drum to teleport to move to the next platform, which is kind of, it means you have a very good chance of just not noticing because you've already left the drum behind. This is easy to get squished under, so don't do that. That's one of the main hazards, actually. One thing I quite like with those kind of hazards as well is it's a hazard that you make yourself. Now this area is actually, on this side, it's completely optional. But it's quite a nice area and I quite like it. We actually have no reason to come over here. We have no need to, at least. But there is a reason. Saying no reason was a bit of a incorrect statement. It's a very familiar face that door forms, though. I quite like this area, it's really cute. It's just the Squirrel King's Kingdom. It's completely missable as well. It's just such a cute little area, I love this place. But it also has a very well hidden side quest as well. Which is also adorable. Oh, cheeky squirrel. So let's vandalize a squirrel, shall we? Let's go for a bit of a military approach, shall we? Give us some military bars. And a bit of a quest. Let's just give her the entire quest of Hyrule, pretty much. Let's go for that, shall we? Now that squirrel has a family quest, and she gave us scraps. Now we've decorated her butt. And this is an optional little path. We could just go through that door and it'd drop us right back into front of the palace, but we need to go this way for stuff. Like this present over here. So you can actually miss a lot on this level if you don't think to come this way. Because it kind of unfurls gradually, so you might not think it's unfurling, you might just kind of give up and solve this puzzle instead. Not noticing this bridge is actually unfurled, it just took some time. Don't need you. You don't eat gophers. I kind of a mean thing to do to throw the gopher all the way off the thing, but it was in the way. I do quite like how the levels kind of gradually unfurl though, it's quite a nice visual. And here's the thing that the drums can do, you can break through them. Not used much, but it's a cool visual effect. That's one of the things that I can't do because I don't have the appropriate app or the appropriate peripherals. Quite this little village area as well, and this is quite a cute little puzzle. You have to just move as it's up. It's kind of the opposite to the rest of the puzzles like that. So let's approach to a sailing party, shall we? Destructive little creatures, aren't they? So let's get rid of them, shall we? I quite like the little portals though, the fact they physically tear their way into the world is a pretty cool aesthetic. This is actually showing us a hazard as well. Don't let that drum carry you like that, because it will kill you. There was actually a trick to getting those scraps. Scraps, the confetti I mean, not the scraps. Now I will be showing off that trick just because it's an interesting little trick. It's a slight puzzle as well. Quite like how colourful everything is, so when you can make it daytime by throwing the apple into the chalice, I guess. I quite like the curls on that tree as well to really get the idea of the leaves across. There's not really much up there, is there? I think I'll show off the thing. I may have forgotten to actually show it off, so I'll mention what you need to do. You need to press the drum button so that the log's in the air, and then use the drum while the log's in the air, so that you land on top of the log and get to the confetti instead of letting the log push you. Yeah, I just kind of got past that, so fine. He just kind of let me have that one. Yeah, this is really cute as well. Sometimes there'll be something that's not quite made of paper. You may notice that the X...
down to the ground with a bump. Don't worry about that, Atois. This story is just getting started. You made a good impression here. You brought back light and colour. You made the orchard sing. But you wouldn't have got this far without the help of that you out there. Atois, don't resist the forces that are guiding you. If the you wants you to jump, then jump. Good luck to you both.
And now we can jump at will with the X button. I thought that was a white thing, I'm an idiot. But as you may have noticed, as I was pressing the X button, that's what depressed the X block. And that's actually a recurring thing. I really enjoy the that idea. Also, you can scratch the records by running backwards on them, or running the same direction as them to make them move faster. And you can also scratch them with the touchpad as well. If you just jam on the touchpad a bit and start like flicking it back and forth, you can make the records flick back and forth, which is really cute. But now we can actually jump. Well, it doesn't mean the drums are no longer useful though. And hey, there's a white drum over there. I quite like this music though, it's quite cute. The bass brings a very kind of dubsteppy aspect to it. Okay, it's time to start combining the other mechanics with jumping now. Jumping at will. And we finally have a proper objective. We know how to get to the hole in the sky. We have to climb that hill. Foreboding. But yeah, the drums can catapult us higher than our jump can. So the drums are still useful. But now we don't need them solely to jump. I also quite like the idea that Atois basically realised, oh wait, my legs can bend, and that's why she can jump now. Because her legs basically broke and she had to kind of fold them back into place, so... That's kind of a cute, if a little bit dark way of showing that, yeah, you can jump, mate, your legs can move. So here we are at chapter 3. It's quite a nice one, but it's also quite a big one. As you can see, we are like 99% of a lot of these, because again, we're not really bothering with the confetti. But I'll see you next time as we explore the Maypole Fields. I'll see you then. hopefully fewer glitches. Goodbye.